suppose that the United States and Britain actually had some interest in reducing terrorism. It's a false assumption, but let's suppose it. How would they have reacted to 9/11? Well, right after 9/11, there was a sharp split in the jihadi movement. Osama bin Laden was very harshly criticized and condemned for carrying out the act of terror. There were fatwas coming from the most radical clerics in Al-Azhar University and so on. Well, if you're interested in reducing terrorism, what you would do is exploit that split. That is, try to bring the jihadi movement to, and of course the rest of the Muslim world that it's hoping to appeal to ultimately, because they're a tiny minority, bring them towards joining in a condemnation of terrorist attacks and working against it. Well, that's not what was done. What was done was to try to weld them together, to carry out exactly the kind of actions that Osama bin Laden was praying for. Fulfill his claim that the West is attacking the Muslim world, so he can bring more people to his cause. That's exactly what was done. That's why people like, say, Michael Scheuer, who's very hawkish, he was CIA analyst in charge of tracking Osama bin Laden for many years. He says the United States is Osama bin Laden's best ally because we do everything he wants. Instead of trying to isolate and eliminate him, bring him to justice and so on, what we do is rally people to his cause. And you can continue with this. Furthermore, in Britain at least, it ought to be understood. After all, Britain has a history of combating real terrorism, IRA terrorism, which was no joke. As long as as Britain responded by violence, it increased and heightened the cycle of violence. As soon as Britain began to take seriously some of the grievances that lay behind it, and they were real, it pretty much settled the question. It's not a utopia in Northern Ireland, but it's not what it was 15 years ago.